Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nayaswami Padma, and I'm here today to bring you a brief excerpt for the noontime broadcast on the original teachings of Paramahansa Yogananda. Today I'm reading out of Swami Kriyananda's autobiography, The New Path, and I have this brief quote I'd like to discuss with you. The solution I myself found to the problem of nervousness was to imagine the worst audience response possible and accept it. In short, to be willing to appear a fool. It is all God's dream anyway, I would remind myself before the lecture. So what does it matter whether people accept me or reject me? So of course we're still talking on the topic of nervousness, in particular as it relates to public speaking lectures. But in reality, it could be really nervousness or fear on any subject, any topic. It's interesting because Yogananda talks about that in his teachings. He said if you have a particular fear, try to imagine the worst possible thing that could happen to you. And then realize, it can't really get worse than that. And it's a way of sort of, often we fear the most what we can't see, what we imagine could happen, what the worst possible thing could be. That's the thing that we fear. So often I've seen it that people will speak out against a very good project, or, city planning commissions are a classic case of this. When they're talking about a building that's going to be built in a certain location, and you'll find all kinds of people come out to speak against it before they even really understand what the project is, and they fear the worst possible situation, that they're going to be overrun by others, or that the traffic is going to be horrendous, or, it goes on. And it's just one of many examples, millions of examples really, of the kinds of things that we fear in a vacuum. We don't even know all the facts that we're facing, but we're afraid of the situation. And so we cower and concern ourselves about what could happen. And in this case, Swami Kriyananda was doing that, or helping himself to get out of that fear by saying, what's the worst thing that could happen? Maybe I'll fail as a public speaker. Maybe people will laugh at me. Maybe people will see me for who I am. Ultimately, what we're talking about is the ego and letting go of our attachment to that particular thing. I remember asking Swami Kriyananda once, is all fear rooted in the fear of death? And he said, no, all fear is rooted in ego. Because it's the ego that doesn't want to be shamed or fail or, looked upon as a fool, as he was talking about in this example. And so a big part of overcoming that fear is not to not care. We do want to care, and we want to do our very best at anything we set ourselves out to do. But we don't want to care so much that we're attached to it. We get tense around it, and we lose our sense of transparency in that situation and let the ego cloud our consciousness. And so in this example, he was saying, I'm willing to not be brilliant and seen in that way. I'm willing to do what I need to do my very best, but not to concern myself with the outcome of what people think about me, or what is the worst thing that could happen that they could possibly think about me. And so letting go and allowing the divine to flow through us in a very natural way, and then whether we succeed or fail is secondary to the effort that we've put into it. Joy to you, and we'll see you again next week. Many blessings. Bye-bye now.